Greetings, weary travellers. I am Jacktar Lad. Welcome to another episode of Read and Roll. Last week we had Kadath Gaming on, and he was taken straight back to the exact same place as he was on the previous time that he came on the show. So next time we have him on, hopefully we'll be able to get through the show a little bit more quicker. Maybe he will even be the first person to finish a game. However, this week we have a very special guest. She has an awful lot of shows that she presents. Slice and Dice, I believe, is the one. Shows you may not have seen, and a whole plethora of other TV and movie related commentary channels. We'll be bringing her on shortly, but if you wouldn't mind doing all the things and the stuff, subscribe, click the link, notification, get a thumb, shove it right upon in there. That'll be absolutely great. Let's take off that background music because that's not supposed to be there. Anyway, bringing on our guest, our very special guest, as I said, we have the wonderful Eclectic Goat. How are you doing, Goat?
What are we shoving where? I didn't know it was that kind of show.
It's my little catchphrase. Get a thumb, shove it right up on in there. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Anyway, how you doing?
Makes you feel something inside anyway.
How are the goats?
It has been chaotic, but I am well. We had a surprise baby goat very recently, followed by 20 baby rabbits this morning.
Wow. You've got a menagerie.
Yeah, one mother on her first try should not have 12 babies. That's just...
Yeah, one's enough.
We're having to keep a very close eye on them, but they're all warm and wiggly, and she's doing a great job. So
that sounds wonderful. Is it a case of you like literally started with one farm animal, and then you decided then that you needed more land, and then once you got more land, you needed more animals?
I mean, not exactly. I started out with about 4 goats and a couple of rabbits and a couple of chickens. And then I got married, and we decided that instead of having a his house or an our house and one of us moving into the other, we were going to sell both and buy an our house. And our house happened to have more land, and it's like when you get a bigger house, you just accumulate more stuff. And the funny story is that so I have always raised endangered heritage breed animals, and this lady contacted me one day and said, "How do you feel about Soay sheep?" And I said, "Well, if I was going to have sheep, that's what I'd have, but you can't find them in the United States, so that'll never happen." And she said, "I have 40 and I'd like to retire."
Wow.
And I said, I don't think I could do 40. And she said, "How about 10? I was like, "Sold."
And were you saying earlier that you may have found a ram?
Yes, we have been desperately trying to find. So there are other Soay breeders, but for some reason everybody stopped registering. I suspect because we have to register in the UK. They are so rare here that they have to be registered in the UK, and that can be difficult because it's, it's confusing figuring out the money and getting a hold of anyone during time zones and all the good sort of stuff. So, but anyway, everybody stopped registering. So it's been really hard to find a registered ram, and I have a very specific idea for my breeding program, so I wasn't willing to just take any ram.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found one that's only about 3 states away that is pied, which is I like the interesting colors of Soay.
3 states away. That's that's like 4 Britons away.
Yeah, it's nothing. I've driven to I drove to Wisconsin for my original sheep, so New York is nothing.
Very well. Well, thank you for being here. Before the show, I always send my guests the back of the book blurbs. Did you have an opportunity to? Because I know you've been very busy. You've had some real world issues to contend with.
I've been very busy with my car breaking down. Yes, that's why I'm late. Yes, he was not late and gay. I was because my truck broke down.
Only slightly.
But yes, I did have time. I did have time to. I just scanned them. I didn't have time to like thoroughly read them, but I did have time to scan them.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer over to the game outlay. And so today's choices are the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, the House of Hell, and the Forest of Doom. So, if you have had the opportunity to read through the blurbs, which book do you think that you'd like to choose now that you've also seen the cover art?
Well, it was a very easy choice because the only proper place for a goat is in the woods.
Excellent. Lovely. Okay. So the Forest of Doom, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Very good then. Excellent. Well, let's not waste too much time because I know you do have another show after this one. You're slightly pressed for time. So
not as pressed as I was worried I was going to be. So we're good. We're good.
Excellent. Let's get the book up then. There we are. There it is. So, the Forest of Doom. Only the foolhardy or the very brave would willingly risk a journey into Darkwood Forest, where strange, twisting paths wind their way into the eerie depths. Who knows what monstrous creatures lurk in the threatening shadows, or what deadly adventures await the unweary traveller? Do you dare enter? In a desperate race against time, deep within Darkwood, your quest is to find the missing pieces of the legendary Hammer of Stonebridge, which was fashioned by dwarves to protect peaceful Stonebridge against its ancient doom. Many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. Powerful adversaries are ranged against you, and often your only choice is to kill or be killed. So that's the back of the book blurb, as I like to say. But before we delve into the actual book itself and before we start the game, I didn't get an opportunity to ask you actually. Have you played any of these books before?
I mean, the choose your own adventure kinds of things were a thing when I was a kid, but this particular style, no.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go through all of the rules with you. Like, the battles I can explain as we encounter them. We will be rolling for your initial stats in a short while. The initial stats are the stamina, skill, and luck that you will use throughout the game. Your scores, even though they will change throughout the game, they will never ever get any higher than these initial scores, with one caveat, but we'll get to that. Do you know what I've noticed as well? I don't seem to have the StreamYard link up here. You know, the little StreamYard icon.
The little watermark thing?
Yeah, the duck. I haven't paid for this.
I was going to say, I just assumed you were on the paid version.
No.
Huh.
What have I done? Oh,
maybe
dear.
they just gave you a freebie for the day.
Well, they keep offering me like a free package for a month or something like that, and then it'll continue on the next one. But I don't remember pressing any of that, so I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
they're sneaky bastards, though. You know.
For want of a better word. So I'm just going to say hello to the chat very quickly. Hello, Legatus Legionus, our mod, or one of our mods. Some may say he's a good mod. I think he's the best mod on the internet. We've also got Davyverse here. Hello, Davyverse. It's a pleasure to see you, my friend. Welcome to the chat. Goat, obviously, here. Welcome. And Grandpappy Bjorkus, Guardian, finally made it early enough to watch the intro. Hi all, good evening to you, my friend. And we've got Steve. How you doing, Steve? Pleasure to see you here. And Grizzled Entertainment, welcome, my friend. I'm so happy you're all here. And that's it for now. That I can see that there are some people lurking in the chat as sort of lurking in the background as well. But don't worry about it.
You said the forest was really scary, so they're just hiding out.
It is a little bit scary. It gets dark sometimes, and there are trees. Trees can be scary, especially live ones. Anyway, so let me just show you this. This is your adventure sheet. It's an Excel spreadsheet because we're so high tech on this channel.
I mean, my life runs on spreadsheets, so I'm not going to throw any stones.
You start your adventure with a sword, a backpack, and 10 provisions. Your provisions, when you eat them, give you 4 stamina back. So when you're getting low on stamina, you can always eat a provision and it'll bring it up. You can start the adventure with 1 of 3 potions, so you get to choose a potion now. You've got the potion of skill, potion of stamina, potion of luck. All of them will return your current skill score back to their initial values, like the full thing. You can only use it once during the entire adventure. However, the luck one, when you drink it, it actually adds 1 to your initial luck score. Mm-hmm. So which one do you think that you'd like to choose?
What is skill in this game?
Skill is what determines your attack strength when you roll dice, so you'll add your skill score to the attack strength.
Okay, so stamina is like my hit points, skill is my attack, and luck is what?
During certain points during the entire mission, you can roll for luck, and it will determine certain things. The way things put my teeth back in. The way certain things go along your journey, whether you go this way or that way, but it can also be used in battles, basically. So if you score the attack round on an enemy, you can roll for luck, and if you're lucky, it takes more stamina off the enemy, but if you're unlucky, it adds stamina back to the enemy. But if the enemy has the attack roll and hits you, you can use it to negate any damage that happens to you. So you can roll for your luck, and if you're lucky, you get a stamina point back. If you're unlucky, though, you get another stamina point taken away from you.
Okay, I am definitely not lucky, so I am never ever going to use that.
We'll see.
Can you get more provisions over the course of an adventure?
Yes and no. There will be things that you can buy or maybe pick up throughout the adventure that act in the same way as provisions and restore stamina points. And there are also choices that you make, pages that you turn to, which can either, add or take away stamina points without battling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, okay. I was trying to figure out if there was a chance of ever increasing stamina in other ways. So,
there is actually, because if the people in the chat want to go down into the description, there is a whole list of monetization options, and the first 3 monetization options, and they range from £1 to £5.
Oh yeah, this is the thing about if they spend like £50, they can just kill me off.
Not necessarily. If they spend £100, then they can reduce all of your initial points down by 1. But that's why I set it so high, so that they can't spam it.
If I can make you £100, I will cheerfully, I will cheerfully put up with that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But if you look in the description down below, you can see the entire list of monetization options. I'm not going to go through them all now because I want to get on with the game because I know that we're pressed for time. But nevertheless, please look at the description down below. There's a whole bunch of monetization options. You're able to do all sorts with the donations, and the Stream Elements tipping link is in the pinned comment in the chat. So if you want to donate, please go there. Anyway, so we are... Were you going to say something? Sorry?
Well, you had asked me about my potion choice, so skill potion I think probably makes the most sense.
One thing I will say is that while your skill score may very well go down over time, in my experience in these books, it doesn't go down as much as you may think. However, I'm not trying to influence.
But I'll kill off the monsters faster, right? So therefore I'll lose less stamina.
No, because basically your skill score is generally static. There are instances...
Oh, I guess I misunderstood. I thought you were saying that I could do more damage if I had a higher skill.
Well, if you roll an initial skill that is high, you'll be able to do more damage. But what will happen is, at certain points during the mission, maybe you'll lose some skill points. Maybe it'll say, like, a snake bit you, and so lose 2 skill points, which means that your attack rolls won't be as effective. But if you take the potion of skill, it will bring your current skill score back up to its initial score.
Okay, so it doesn't actually increase my skill then?
No. Whatever you roll on your initial skill, which is what we're going to do in a second.
So stamina is really the only option then? It's the only reasonable option. It's the only reasonable option.
Stamina is a good one, but you've got provisions that can restore stamina. Luck is the best bang for buck if you use luck a lot, because it will add one more to your initial score.
I'm never going to, because I know what I roll like, so...
But it's so that dice roller that you've got there, it's a computer. It's just a random generated number, and it outputs the dice. So you never know.
They're worse than regular dice.
Some people have had really, really good luck, or RNG on the dice, and some people have had really terrible RNG.
Be honest with me, though. How many people have died playing these games?
Every single one of them. Apart from Greg, because he's been given some kind of plot armor.
So, therefore, stamina will at least keep me alive longer.
May very well be. So, you want skill, stamina, or luck potion?
Stamina, please.
Okay. Potion of stamina. So what we're going to do now is we're going to roll for your initial scores. So we'll roll for the skill first. So if you can roll 1d6, and then we'll add 6 to that score.
See?
So 2 plus 6 is 8. And so there you go. That's your current initial skill. So if you can roll 2d6 now for your stamina, and we'll add 12. That's 8. 6 plus the 12, that's 18, isn't it? Yeah. Which isn't bad. And now if you can roll...
It's not good either.
It's not like the highest that it could be, but it's not bad. I mean, you haven't rolled terrible. Ooh, who was that? It looks like Davyverse has tipped some money, so let's have a look and see what he says. This is before you've even started the game?
I was gonna say what I should do is just, like, for the sake of your channel, I should be so annoying that they just want it over with, and then they'll, like, give you all sorts of money to, like, end the show.
So let's have a look. The activity feed. Okay, so
They like pool it together, and they're like, we'll give you 200 pounds if you kill her in a really interesting way.
So Davyverse, thank you so much for the tip. It's a £5 tip, and he says if there is a spare nameless rabbit, can we name it Jacktar Rabbit? Takes a adventure. Take an adventurer's kit, goat. And so what that means, let me just get into the actual monetization list. What he means by the adventurer's kit is the adventurer's care package. So, an adventurer's care package, you get to choose 2 of either 4 gold and 2 provisions, or it's a potion of choice and either 4 gold or 2 provisions. So you could, if you like, you could choose to have 8 gold or 4 gold and 2 provisions, or you could choose a potion and 4 gold, or a potion and 2 provisions.
What do I do with gold?
Buy stuff.
In the middle of the woods, that seems unlikely. Unless there are,
it's part of the story.
Random merchants.
There are random merchants and stuff.
All right. So the potions give me how much stamina versus the food?
So each potion refills your scores back to their initial levels.
Okay, and the food...
But it will never go higher than the initial values. So you've rolled 18 for stamina. It will never ever go higher than than 18 stamina. And your provisions, they give you 4 stamina per provision.
Okay.
And you currently have 10 of them.
I do remember provisions can't be used during a battle. Can potions?
That's correct.
Okay.
Donated potions, I allow them to be.
All right. I will take a potion, and I will take the gold.
Okay, so it's a potion of choice. However, okay, you're taking stamina, so we'll just go with that then. Another pot.
So
stamina.
to the chat, if we get to 15, what is it? I'm sorry, wrong country. If we get to 15 pounds in tips for him, the next male rabbit I will name Jacktar Rabbit. If you get him up to 25 worth, the next female rabbit I will name Jacktar Rabbit.
You are so sweet.
I'll even make sure in either case that it's not one I'm going to butcher.
No, make it one that you are definitely... No, never mind. Anyway, let's carry on. So you wanted the potion of stamina, and now you either get to choose 4 gold or 2 provisions.
Gold.
Okay. Excellent, there you go. You got 4 gold. So thank you so much for the donation, Davyverse. We've entered those into the game now. So you have to roll for your luck now, which I guess is going to be pointless because you seem adamant that you're not going to use it. But nevertheless, let's get it done. If you can roll 1d6, please, and we'll add 6. Nice. There you go. That's 11.
The one thing I roll well on is the thing I will probably not use.
So there are 3 lifelines as well that you can use throughout this game. The first one is ask the audience. If there's a choice that you're not sure about and you want to get the chat's opinion, I'll put a poll in the chat. We've got phone a friend, which means that you get to pick one person out of the chat to find out what their opinion would be. And the third one is backtrack. I will be keeping a log of all the paragraphs that you visit through the adventure, And if you want to use that backtrack, it means that you can go back to the previous chapter that you were on and make a different choice. So if you make a choice and you don't like it, you can always use backtrack and make it again. However, you only get to use that once. Each of the lifelines you only get to use once in any adventure.
Okay.
Okie dokie. I think we need to get started then. There's got a little bit to read first. So are you ready for the adventure?
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Let's just say hello to a couple more. £20 a spawn enemy. Is that right? Is that what I put? No. Yeah, it is actually. £20 spawns a random enemy. So at any point during the mission, if someone donates £20 and wants it to go towards spawning a random enemy, you'll have to battle it there and then.
But that's, see, what my whole thing was, I do 25 if total they gave you 20. One person doesn't have to give you a $25 tip. If they total
That's
it,
fine.
I'll you get to become a rabbit.
We've got Yarnwitch live here, so thank you for joining us. Yarnwitch, I saw the stream earlier, fantastic. We've got the prophetic apathetic here as well. It's a pleasure to see you. Oh, so here's some rules. Never trust the chat. Absolutely never trust me. And 3 possibly viable option. I don't particularly know what number 3 means.
Because there were 3 choices on lifelines. So never trust the chat. Don't pick him for my one person. And number 3 might be valid. I don't know. I rather like number 2, because then if I die, I have someone specific to blame.
Exactly. That's the way to go about it. So we've rolled for your skill, stamina, and luck. We'll get into how battles work when we finally get there. Let's just quickly take a look. You've taken your potion. Hints on play. There is one true way through Darkwood Forest, and it will take you several attempts to find it. Make notes and draw a map as you explore. You can do that if you want to. You don't have to.
Oh, I was going to say, I meant to actually have graph paper, because I remember listening to Greg's and him saying that he'd done maps. It's okay. Yeah. I have regular paper. I'll make do.
This map will be invaluable for future adventures and enable you to progress rapidly through the unexplored sections. Not all areas contain treasure, some merely contain traps and creatures which will you no doubt fall afoul of. There are many wild goose chase passages, and while you may indeed progress through to your ultimate destination, it is by no means certain that you will find what you're searching for. The one true way involves a minimum of risk, and any player, no matter how weak on the initial dice rolls, should be able to get through fairly easily. So may the luck of the gods go with you on your adventure ahead. So, the background. You are an adventurer, a sword for hire, and have been roaming the northern borderlands of your kingdom. Having always spurned the dullness of village life, you now wander the lands in search of wealth and danger. Despite the long walks and the rough outdoor life, you are content with your known destiny. The world holds no fears for you, as you are a skillful warrior, well practiced in the art of slaying evil men, beasts with your trusty sword. Not once during your last 10 days since entering the northern borderlands have you set eyes upon another person. This doesn't worry you at all, as you are happy with your own company and you enjoy the slow, sunny days hunting, eating and sleeping. It's evening, and having feasted on a dinner of rabbit, spit roasted on an open fire, you settle down to sleep beneath the sheepskin blanket. There's a full moon, and the light sparkles on the blade of your broadsword skewered into the ground by your side. You gaze at it, wondering when you will next have to wipe the blood of some vile creature from its sharp edge. These are strange lands inhabited by weird and loathsome beasts, goblins, trolls, and even dragons. As the flame of your campfire gently dies, you begin to drift to sleep, and images of screaming trolls flicker through your mind. Suddenly, in the bushes to your left, you hear the loud crack of a twig breaking under a clumsy foot. You leap up and grab your sword from the ground. You stand motionless but alert, ready to pounce on your unseen adversary. Then you hear a groan, followed by the dull thud of a body falling to the ground. Is this a trap? Slowly, you walk over to the bush where the noise is coming from, and carefully pull back the branches. You look down to see a little old man with a grey bushy beard, his face contorted with pain. You crouch down to remove the iron helmet covering his balding head and notice 2 crossbow bolts protruding from his stomach of his plump chainmail-clad torso. Picking him up, you carry him over to the fire and you stir the dying embers into life. After covering him up with the sheepskin blanket, you manage to get the old man to drink a little water. He coughs and moans and he sits up rigid, eyes staring fixedly ahead, and starts to shout, "I'll get them! I'll get them! Don't you fear, Gillibrand! Big-Leg is coming to bring you the hammer! Oh yes, indeed I am, oh yes!" The dwarf, whose name you presume to be Big-Leg, is obviously delirious from the poison-tipped bolts lodged in his stomach. You watch as he slumps down again to the ground and then whisper his name in his ear. His eyes stare unblinkingly at you as he again starts to shout, "Ambush! Look out! Ambush! Ah! The hammer! Take the hammer of Gillibrand! Save the dwarves!" His eyes half close and the pain seems to ease a little. As put my teeth back in. As the delirium subsides, he speaks to you again in a low whisper. "Help us, friend. Take the hammer to Gillibrand. Only the hammer will unite our people against the trolls. We were on our way to Darkwood in search of the hammer, ambushed by the little people, others killed. The map in my pouch will take you to the home of Nostromo, the master mage of these parts. He has great magics for sale to protect you against the creatures of Darkwood. Take my gold. I beg you to find the hammer and take it to Gillibrand, my lord of Stonebridge. You will be well rewarded." Big-Leg opens his mouth to start another sentence, but nothing comes out except his last dying breath. You sit down and you ponder Big-Leg's words. Who is Gillibrand? Who is Nostromo? What is all this fuss about a dwarvish hammer? You reach over to the still body of Big-Leg and remove the pouch from the leather belt around his waist. Inside, you find 30 gold pieces and a map. Jingling the coins in your hand, you think of the possible rewards which await you just for returning a hammer to a village of dwarves. You decide to try to find the hammer in Darkwood Forest. It's been a few weeks since your last good battle, and what's more, you are likely to be well paid for this one. With your mind made up, you settle down to sleep. Having taken back the sheepskin blanket from poor Big-Leg, in the morning you bury the old dwarf and gather up your possessions. You examine the map, look up to the sun, find your bearings, and whistling merrily, you've just buried this dwarf, and off you go on your merry way. You head off south at a good pace, eager to meet this man Nostromo and see what he has to offer. So, there you go. That was your background for the story. Just going to see if there's much in the chat. How do you feel about the adventure so far?
I'm very entertained. I had to take his helmet off to notice that he had crossbow bolts in his stomach.
Already butchered jackrabbit. Yes, indeed. Spit roasted on the fire. Nice. Incidentally, you can't live on rabbit alone. There are reports of a feral dwarf named Tomby in the vicinity. You're absolutely right. Close to you, isn't he, at the moment?
Rapidly getting further away, I think.
He's closer to you than he is to me.
Well, there is that.
You found the Tombi. Does sound like him, Rick. Who? What? Oh, it does sound like Tombi. I get you. Yeah. Necromancer tendencies want to animate him and load his chest. Alchemical vials. God, I've got to read better. With alchemical vial. Okay.
See, this is why you keep a glass of whiskey nearby, like, all the time, so that if you start to stumble, you just blame it on that, whether you've actually drunk it or not.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no way that I could drink and do this show. Absolutely not. I don't drink anyway. Well, you know, it's kind of like one of those things. I don't necessarily drink all that often. It has to be a very, very special occasion. Anyway, we have the first chapter. So there you go. There's your little illustration for the page. And so your walk to Yastromo's takes a little over half a day, and you arrive at his stone tower home dirty and hungry. As the tower is set back on the edges of Darkwood some 50 meters away from the path you've been following, it's difficult to find. Finally, you walk up to the huge oak door, somewhat relieved to find that it does exist and Big Leg had not been speaking wildly in his delirium. A large brass bell and a gong hang from the stone archway. As you reach the bell, a shiver runs down your spine as you realize that the loud bong invades a deep silence which you had not noticed. There are no sounds of birds or animals to be heard. You wait anxiously at the door and hear slow footsteps descending the stairs from the tower above. A small wooden slot in the door opens, and two eyes appearing to examine you. "Well, who are you?" demands a grumpy voice through the hole. You answer that you are an adventurer in search of the master mage Yastromo, intending to purchase magical items from him to combat the creatures of Darkwood Forest. "Oh, well, in that case, if you're interested in buying some of my merchandise, you'd better come up. I am Yastromo." He then turns and slowly climbs the stone stairs. Will you follow him up the stairs or draw your sword and attack him?
I mean, unless I'm supposed to be a sociopath, I'll just follow him up the stairs.
It's a pretty good choice there for your first choice. One thing I must do first, though, before I forget, is to add the 30 gold to your total. So you have 34 gold thanks to Davyverse. So there we go. So
hard to go shopping if I didn't bring my wallet.
Exactly. 261. You follow the huffing and puffing old man in his tattered robes up the spiral staircase to the large room at the top of the tower. Shelves, cupboards, and cabinets line the walls, all filled with bottles, jars, weapons, armor, and all manner of strange artifacts. Yastromo shuffles past the general clutter and slumps down in an old oak chair. He reaches into his top pocket and pulls out a fragile pair of gold-rimmed spectacles. Placing these on his nose, he picks up a piece of slate and a chalk from a table next to his chair and begins to write frantically. He then hands you the slate. So, can you see the screen pretty well there?
Yeah, I think some of it's kind of going off the. But yeah.
So,
oh no, actually, I could see them all.
The last one is nose filters at the bottom of the list there.
Yep, I can see.
Right, so you've got 34 gold. You don't have to spend it all.
Yeah, I'm wondering what half these things do.
Well,
obviously some of them are pretty obvious, self-explanatory, but
they are, but also I cannot tell you what any of them do right now.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Well, let's see. Plants, insects, and poison are all things that are likely to be found in a forest. Is there a limit? There is not a limit on what I can buy?
He tells you that all the instructions for use are written clearly on the labels attached to the items together with their suggested use. He sighs and tells you that unfortunately the magic in the items only works once, but they are the best you can buy for the money. If you decide to buy any of the items, pay for them by reducing the amount of gold on your adventure sheet and add the items to the relevant sections on it. Nostromo then asks you the reason for the purchase of the items. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to say that based on what we've read, you can only buy one of each.
Oh, I had kind of assumed that, yeah, okay. I'm going to spend a lot here. I'm going to do plant, insect, and anti-poison, because like I said, those seem like obvious things that you'd find in the woods.
So, hang on a second. Let me just get this on your adventure sheet for you. So, you want... Did you say that you want...
Plant control, insect control, and anti-poison.
Plant control, insect control.
Mm-hmm.
And
poison.
And anti-poison. Okay.
I am also going to guess from some of the things in here that there are probably undead between the garlic and the holy water and the ring of light and everything else. So, let's take one holy water.
Mm-hmm.
Is water that like my provisions are just assumed to include food and water, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be metagaming, so I'm still going to assume that water finding is a good thing to have in the woods.
Okay.
What is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 11? Is that right? Did I spend 11 at this point?
Plant control 2, 4, 6. Yep. 2, 4, 6, 9, isn't it? You've had a holy water.
4, 6.
What else did you
7, 8,
want?
9.
You've got to holy water so far.
The water finding thing. So 10, 11.
Oh yes. Okay. Where's that one? Water finding. Where is that? I can't. Oh, there it is. Rod of water finding. Okay. Yes. So 11.
Grandpappy says some forests have methane vents. A fire capsule would be fairly entertaining.
So yeah, Rod of Water Finding was your last one. That's 11 gold pieces used.
Let's go for a fire capsule, just because it was suggested.
Okay.
Nose filters is... I'm curious about the nose filters. I'm almost tempted to buy one just so I can figure out what the heck it does. Yeah, let's go for it. Just because I don't know what it does.
Okie dokie.
It's like buying the mystery book at the book sale, you know?
It is. It's like buying a tin of tinned food with no label on it.
Well, that's a little scarier, but... And I'm going to do a net of entanglement, and that's going to be it.
Okay. You didn't want any garlic or anything like that?
I mean, not unless I'm cooking.
Okay.
In which case, all the garlic.
You can never have too much garlic.
I mean, my assumption is that garlic is mainly like an anti-vampire thing, and that's the holy water. Hopefully, will cover that. So,
no ring of light, no boots of leaping, no rope of climbing.
yeah, it's like technology. Technology will always fail you at the, most inoperative. I am tempted on the ring of light.
The glove of missile dexterity.
Nah. I mean, it sounds like I'm not really a missile kind of person. It sounds like I'm kind of a sword person, so... I will do the Ring of Light, I guess. That does sound like... That's only useful for one use, though, right?
All of them are only useful for one use. Yep. So we got to 11, didn't we, with the Rod of Water Finding. So that you got the nose filters, which takes you up to 14. What else was it? The fire capsules, taking you up to 17. And the Ring of Light, taking you up to 20. Yeah?
Did you get the net?
Yes, so the net of entanglement, that takes you up to 23.
That works. I didn't want to go over 20 no matter what I got, so that works
well. You're up to 23.
Oh, I thought you just said I was at 20.
Yeah, I had to I had to recalculate because of the net.
All right. Well, we'll still call it good.
Okie dokie. So just to show you your adventure sheet.
No point in starting an adventure if you're not well prepared.
So you have spent 23. You're down to 11 gold then.
I mean, that's like more than I have in real life, so...
Gold is at an all-time high at the moment.
I mean, you could just talk regular funds. That still feels like more than I've got these days.
Right then. So, on with the story. Where were we? If you decide to buy any of the items, yada yada. So Nostromo then asks you the reason for the purchase of the items, and you tell him your story and your decision to continue the quest of the luckless Big Lead. Ah yes, Nostromo says slowly, rubbing his chin. Heard that the good wolves of Stonebridge had lost their fabled warhammer. Without it, their king is unable to rouse his people, despite the fact that the hill trolls threaten their village. Rumor has it that the envious king of another village of the dwarves has sent an eagle to Stonebridge to steal the hammer, which it managed to do, but as it flew back over Darkwood, it was attacked by deathhawks, and the hammer dropped into the forest and was lost. Apparently, 2 forest goblins found the hammer, but could not decide who was to keep it. They wrestled for hours, but gave up. They then discovered that the handle unscrewed from the head, and the argument was settled. One kept the head, the other kept the handle. Then they parted, each happy with their new treasure. Who knows if they still have them? So I'm afraid your problems are doubled. I can tell you that the head is made of bronze and the handle is made of polished ebony. Both head and handle have the letter G inscribed in them. Your task is not easy. Good luck. You thank Nostromo and you leave the room by the spiral staircase. Turn to 177. Okay. So, I'm just going to log this down. So 177... because you may want to use backtrack it almost immediately. Outside, in the bright light, you notice the dead quietness again. A narrow path leads northwards from the tall grass surrounding Nostromo's tower into the dense undergrowth of Darkwood Forest. In a few strides, you are surrounded by the dark and tangled forest. Stones and knotted roots seem to hide in the shadows, and you can almost believe that they are trying to trip you up. The light fades quickly, and the air becomes moist and unpleasant. The deeper and deeper you go into the gloom. Eventually, the path forks on either side of a huge old tree. So will you go west or go east?
West would be left. If you said I'm going northward, correct?
Yes. The west would be left. Yeah.
All right, I'll go west.
I've heard life is peaceful there. The narrow, overgrown path. Oh, sorry. So it's 289, isn't it? I've got to keep a log. 289. So the narrow, overgrown path continues to weave its way through the crowded forest. A strange animal cries echo through the trees. It's not long before you arrive at another junction in the path. If you wish to continue westwards, turn to 76. If you wish to turn north, turn to 147.
I'll keep going west. It's easier to find my way back that way.
The path turns suddenly to the right and proceeds northwards into the dense undergrowth. Doesn't really give you a choice here. You've got to turn to 206. This tells me that
Life's like that sometimes.
This is one of those paragraphs that is linked to by other paragraphs. So that's what that tells me. Anyway, suddenly, off the path to your left, you hear cries for help. If you wish to go to the aid of the person in trouble, turn to 253. If you would rather ignore the cries and continue your journey north, turn to 187.
Well, it sounds like without this hammer, the entire dwarven kingdom is in trouble, so...
Sounds like it.
This is like the trolley problem, so I'm going to ignore the 1 and save the 5. So we'll go to 187.
Walking along the twisting path, you see a small, sinewy creature with brown, scaly skin sitting on a log on the right of the path. He has a sullen expression on his face, and as he slowly tosses a black shiny rod on a leather cord back and forth between his hands. Hang on. He has a sullen expression on his face as he slowly tosses a black shiny rod on a leather cord back and forth between his hands. He might be one of the goblins that you're looking for. Will you draw your sword and attack the goblin, try to start a conversation with the goblin, or ignore him and continue walking north?
We'll start a conversation. If that rod might be the handle I'm looking for, I don't want to ignore him.
So 203.
Maybe he's bribable, if that's what...
Doesn't look like it. As you start to speak to the goblin, he looks up and smiles, and then he starts to metamorphose before your very eyes. He becomes taller and turns green. A large, spiny tail extends from his back. His arms thicken, and his hands grow sharp claws. His face distorts and becomes reptilian with red eyes, a wide mouth, and dozens of razor-sharp teeth. He is not a goblin, but a shape-changer, and you must fight him. Ooh, and he's got a skill of 10 and a stamina of 10. Oh my god. So, before we start this battle, you do have a lifeline, which is the backtrack lifeline. So if you'd like to go back to the previous chapter and choose again, you're more than welcome to.
No, bring it on. I mean, if I gotta fight something this hard, it might as well be at the beginning before I get weakened.
Very good. So, okay then, we'll start the battle music. And here we go. Let's bring up your adventure sheet. It's got a skill of 10 and a stamina of 10. So you are rolling against a worthy adversary with your skill of 8. So, to start the first attack round, the way that this works is we roll for the enemy first, and then we roll for you second. Whoever has the highest attack strength wins the attack round. Whoever wins the attack round, the opposite has 2 stamina points taken away from them. At that point, you can test your luck. Okay, so for now, roll 2d6 for the enemy, please. A 5 and a 3 gives them 18. And then if you can roll 2d6 for yourself, please.
I have a question. Can I use the fire capsule?
No.
Darn. Shape changers are notoriously, problematic when it comes to fire.
Well, a 6 and a 3 gives you 17, unfortunately, which means that they got the higher attack strength. And I'm afraid that we'll have to reduce your stamina down to 16. Right,
Really?
so,
I thought I'd beat them by 1 point. Do they have extra... Oh, they have extra stuff too. Never mind.
So they have 10 skill, and you have 8 skill.
Yeah, I forgot about
yes.
that part. I was just looking at the straight dice rolls.
So let me think about this. So luck. At this point, you have a current luck of 11. So in order to negate some of the damage and to add a stamina point back to your score, you have to roll 11 or less on 2d6. So if you want to test your luck, you are going to be generally lucky on this roll, because you would have to roll 2 6s to be unlucky. However, you don't have to use your luck, and we can just go for the next attack round.
No, let's go for the boxcars.
So was that a luck roll?
Yes.
Okay. One thing I should say about your luck, though, is every time you use it, it gets reduced by 1.
Yeah,
But
I did remember that.
fortunately-
I did remember that from listening to other...
But fortunately, your stamina has gone up by 1 to 17 now. So if we can start the next attack round by rolling 2d6 for the enemy, please. Nice. A 2 and a 2 gives them 14. And then if you can roll 2d6 for yourself, please. A 5 and a 3 gives you 16. You win the attack round.
Does Ty go to attacker or defender?
It's a parry, so there's no damage on either side.
Got it.
So we'll reduce their stamina down to 8. Now at this point, if you want to use your luck and you are lucky, we will reduce the monster's stamina by 2 again. However, if you are unlucky, I will add 1 back to their stamina. So do you want to test your luck?
And I need under a 10, right?
10 or below.
Yeah, we'll go for it.
Okay. Oh, dearie me.
I thought I needed a 10 or less.
Oh, sorry. Yes, my apologies. I was thinking of... I was miscalculating. My apologies. Nevertheless,
You're just trying to make me panic.
you were lucky. Just. So we'll reduce their score down by another 2, and they're now down to 6. So to start the next attack round, roll 2d6 for the enemy, please. A 1 and a 3 gives them 14 again.
It doesn't matter how lucky I am. I just have to be lucky.
A 5 and a 4 gives you 17. You win the attack round.
That is very weird. That showed up like crooked on my screen.
Did it?
Yeah, that's weird. I
Well.
didn't even know it could do that.
Nevertheless, you won the attack round. We've brought their stamina down to 4 now. Would you like to test your luck or carry on with the next attack round?
We're gonna carry on.
Okay, 2d6 for the enemy, please.
That's
A
not
2
great.
and a 5 gives them 17. I don't know, you've been rolling 17s and 16s. I'm sure you can get a little bit higher.
Nah.
Not on that roll. A 2 and a 2 gives you 12, which means they win the attack round. And we'll have to reduce your score to 15. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
I'll carry on. I'm still doing pretty well.
2d6 for the enemy then, please. 2 and a 3 gives them 15. Not bad. 2 for yourself. A 4 and a 3 gives you 15, which means that you've parried blows. No harm, no foul. Next attack round, 2d6 for the enemy, please. A 5 and a 2 gives them 17.
Basically, if I roll a 7 or better for them, I'm probably screwed.
1 and a 6 is 15. They win that attack round.
Yeah.
So we'll take your score down to 13. Do you want to test your luck?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, 2d6 for the enemy, please. 3 and a 3 gives them 16. A 5 and a 2 gives you 15. Unlucky. So your score is now 11. Would you like
This game
to...
is gonna be over very quickly.
Well, you do have a potion of stamina which you can use during the battle. The other one you're not allowed to because it was the one that you started with, but you do have a potion of stamina that was donated to you. So if you get super low, you can just take it.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. So in that case, 2d6 for the enemy, please. 6
Gonna lose
and
this
a
one
2.
too.
Who knows? You never know. You could get 2 6s. 5 and a 4. Yeah, you did just by 1 point, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much how it'll go the whole time. Like I said, every time I roll 7 or higher for them, I will lose. That's just the way the statistics work.
Okay, so I'm assuming that was for them, and then 2d6.
You said them first and then me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid 15 to 17, you've lost that attack round as well, so you're down to 7 now.
Yep.
Okay, next attack round. 5. That's a pretty high score for them.
That one came up crooked too. That's weird. I've never seen a dice roller that did that.
And 2 for yourself, please.
Best
Oh my god, it's...
Best roll I've gotten so far, it's still not going to be enough. I was doing really well at first, and now I can't seem to get a hit to save my...
We need that RNG, Jesus to come back into our lives. RNG bus, as Steve likes to call it. So that's 17 for them. And 2 for yourself, please. 3 and a 3 gives you 14. You are really rolling terribly on this.
I told you from the beginning I was going to. I have a loathing for electronic dice, and they know it.
Well, if there was any way for you to use real dice and for me to see them...
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
I'd allow it. Anyway, 2 for yourself, please. Come on, double 6. No, unfortunately not. So...
I
was going to say...
Good time for that potion.
Okay. So we'll take it away from you. Let's bring you all the way back up to 18. However, this time, if you go down to 0, that's it, you're dead. Unless someone donates to you again. So if someone can either donate £3 and then you'll get a potion of choice, or they can donate to you £5 for another adventurer's package, which means that you'll get the deal that you got last time. But £3, and you could get a potion of choice. £2 grants a random potion, so it'll be random on a dice roll.
So I don't have to be really annoying in order to make you money. I just have to be really incompetent.
Yep. That's only if someone wants to donate another £3. So 2d6 for the enemy, please. That's better. That gives them 12 and 2 for yourself. There we go.
I was going to laugh hysterically if I rolled double ones again.
So we've brought them down to 2. Now, if you were to test your luck, you need to get 9 or below on 2d6. But if you were to be lucky, you'd take out the monster right now.
Yeah, but I may need that later, so...
Okie dokie then.
And seriously, if I can't get them once in the next 18 points, I deserve to die.
Well, 2d6 for the enemy then, please. A 2 and a 5 gives them 17.
I mean, honestly, the dwarves who refuse to, like, defend their own home because they're missing a hammer also deserve to die, but...
Let them die. And you've done it. You've managed to defeat the enemy. Well done, my friend. Congratulations on your first battle. You've won it. Even if you had to use a potion, you managed to do it. Well done. Congratulations.
Hey, coming out alive is all that matters.
Indeed. And I'm just going to say hello to a couple of people I can see who have joined us in the chat. So we've got Rick Cleary here. Welcome, Rick. It's good to see you, my friend. And we've also got Atom Grey, Party on Goat. And where is he? I saw him just a short while ago. Where are ya? Come back here, Abe. Everyone has Abes except for me. Where is it?
He's hiding.
He is hiding very well. There he is. Hello, Abe. Good to see you, my friend. And the Devastator as well. Pleasure to see you, my friend. And Rio, or Ryo. Is it Rio or Ryo? What would you say, Goat?
I usually say Rio. It honestly didn't occur to me it would be anything else, but I could
His
be
name
wrong.
is Rio, and he dances on the sand.
So for the people who just came in, if you donate enough to Jack, I will name my next kept rabbit after him.
Yeah, what did we say the donation goal was? If it's 20 total.
If it's 15 total in the entire chat donation, I will name my next male buck after you. If you make it to 20, I will name my next female rabbit after you.
There you go.
I have a very pretty black otter that I'm probably going to keep. So.
A black otter?
Yeah, black otter is when they're black on the top and silver on the bottom.
But it's an otter.
No, that's what it's called. That's the pattern color. It's called black otter.
Oh, so it's a rabbit that's a black otter.
Yes. So you could be with enough donations, you could be a very pretty girl.
I could be. Ooh. I am a very pretty girl. What are you talking about?
And somebody asked what would happen if...
Don't misgender me.
Somebody asked if... I didn't. I just said you could be. Maybe it was a comment. Maybe it was a commentary on whether or not you were pretty, not whether or not you were a girl. Somebody asked what would happen if we got to 40, and I said I would do one that was named Jack Tar Lad and one that was named Jack Tar Lola.
So, Davyverse, you are right. We only need £10 so that we reach the £15 minimum goal. And Yeah, there you go. What's Grandpappy saying here? If we can get to 100, can we rename Jack to Rabbit? Temporarily, I guess. But thank you all for being here.
For one day, all of your social media has to get changed to Rabbit.
It won't be though. That's the problem. So if you donate £100, I will have to change my social. I'll do it on Twitter, and that will have to be for the entire month, I think, because you're not allowed to change your name for X amount of weeks until.
I will even send you a picture of the pretty black otter, and you can put it up as your as your picture.
That'd be awesome. Anyway, let us carry on. Congratulations anyway, you did win the battle against the shape changer against terrible odds, and so here we go to 373. You slump on the log, exhausted after your long battle. Sadly, the black rod was just part of the shape changer's illusion and it exists no more.
Bastard.
However, you notice some violet mushrooms growing behind the log. They are unfamiliar to you, but they look awfully tasty. If you wish to eat some of the mushrooms, turn to 308. If you would rather continue north, turn to 1. Oh, hang on, 148. But before we continue onwards, I did have another. Holy sugar plums. So Rick Cleary has donated. Wait for it.
Do I have monsters showing up?
You actually do?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You do, yes. So I'm waiting for it to come through. I don't know why it hasn't come through.
Rick, I'm gonna remember that.
Unfortunately, I can't highlight it. This really bothers me. Stream Elements should show the donation so I can highlight it. However, nevertheless, Rick Cleary has donated a whopping £20 so to name them after Jack. So there you go, there's your answer. We've made the £20 goal at least. So the next is it the next lady rabbit that you get has got to be named Jacktar Rabbit or Jack Rabbit.
Well, for right now, I'm writing down Jacktar Lola just in case we make the 40, and I have to do 2.
So thank you so much to Rick Cleary for donating
You'll pardon me if I'm not quite as thrilled.
And I appreciate it as well, Eclectic Goat, for sacrificing one of your rabbits' names to name them after me to get me the donation. So thank you very much to Rick for the £20, but that also means that a random dude has been spawned, basically. So what I'm going to have to ask you to do...
If it's kill a rabbit, I'll laugh my ass off.
Well, it just so happens that it is a were-rabbit. A were-rabbit has appeared in the middle of nowhere before you even get a chance to move to your next page. And we're going to have
Are you joking?
No,
it's
a were-rabbit.
It's actually a were-rabbit.
Well, I get to make it up.
Oh, I thought it was random, like you rolled for it.
Well, you're going to roll for their stats, but I get to name the enemy.
Okay.
What I'm going to ask you to do is roll 1d6, please. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was my exact thought, Steve. We're going to need a holy hand grenade.
You are going to need some help because you've just rolled a were-rabbit with a skill of 12.
Yep. Nope. No surprise there.
And if you can roll 2d6 for their stamina, please.
Box cars. Oh,
4 and a 2, that's 6, which
that
means we add...
That would have been funny.
What was it? 6. So there we go. Well done. You've spawned a were-rabbit. And so let's get on with this and see how well you can do against 12. It's 12 against 8.
I was going to say, I don't think it's actually possible for me to roll, is it? Don't I have to, like, literally roll double 6s in order to... Is that a yes? Or are you doing the math?
I'm doing the math. I'm also trying to think of a boon for you.
Does holy water work on were-rabbits?
You might want to keep those things that you bought for certain chapters, because everything that you bought from Nostromo has a meaning in at least one of the chapters.
I'm sure it does, but if I die before I get there, it doesn't help.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a boon. Because we've already hit a £20 milestone.
25, I think, technically, if you count.
Well, yes, 25 indeed. But that one specific goal that we were going to do. For this battle, I'm going to award you an extra 2 skill, which will bring you up to 10. So only for this battle.
I'm a berserker just for this battle. once my rage is gone, it goes away.
So here we go then. Hopefully that sort of even the odds a little bit now.
I think I still have to roll like a 10 or better.
Well, best of luck. So 2d6 for the enemy. That's 2 and a 3. Gives them 17. Let me just remove the old scores there. 17 and 2 for yourself, please. Nice. 6 and a 5 gives you 21. Which means you win the attack.
Did I mention, Rick, I'm going to remember this?
We've brought their stamina down to 4 because you've won the attack round. So, would you like to test your luck or carry on?
I feel like I kind of have to do the luck at this point.
Okay, then.
I've already forgotten it's 2d6, right? Oh, shoot. Darn
That's
it.
okay. Don't worry about that. You just re-roll.
I meant to hit the 6 again, and I aimed a little too high. No.
Well, that's fine. You got less than 9.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's the only one I need low on.
So we'll reduce your luck to 8, and we'll reduce their stamina down to 2. So next attack round, 2d6 for the enemy, please.
Give me a second.
Yes, Grandpappy, the blurps are disabled.
That's not good.
I don't know, you've rolled a 21 in the last one, so you could beat him.
It will never happen again.
Well, it didn't happen this time because that was 16 against 20, which means that we have to reduce your stamina down to 16. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
Carry on for now. The only saving grace on this is that their stamina's low.
Yes. Ooh, a 6 and a 3 gives them 21. Oh, flipping heck.
Yes, it's pretty much an impossible.
A 3 and a 3 gives you 16 again. You didn't do it that time. Don't forget, boys and girls, you could donate another £3 and give her a potion of choice, which means that she could pick a potion of stamina and use it in this battle if she gets low enough. So unfortunately, you're down to 14 stamina now. If you could either, would you like to test your luck or carry on?
No, I'll carry on.
2d6 for the enemy then, please. Oh, good lord, woman.
Yeah, I just keep rolling better for them and worse for me.
And 2d6 for yourself, please. Come on, double sixes. A 5 and a 3 gives you 18. You lose the attack round, I'm afraid.
Yep.
And we'll bring you down to 12. Test your luck or carry on?
Carry on.
2d6 for the enemy then, please. A 5 and a 2 gives them 19. And 2 for yourself, please. A 3 and a 2 gives you 15. I'm afraid you did not win that attack round, so you're down to 10 stamina.
Do you think if we just, like, reversed the way we roll, that it would, like, roll for me first? Probably it would just reverse it. I'd start rolling terrible on the first roll.
So the other thing as well is that if someone donates a £5, you can choose between the Adventurer's Care Package or a reroll. It'll grant you a reroll as well. That's part of the monetization value, basically. So for a £5 donation, grants the player a reroll. So if you didn't like the roll, you can at least try again.
But honestly, does anyone in the chat look at the way I'm rolling and think that the reroll is going to help?
No, but if you were if you're kind of thinking to yourself that every time you roll for them it's high and every time you roll for yourself it's low, if you want to try and swap that up, you could either use your luck, because that kind of changes the direction in which the rolls are going, or a reroll would do that, but that's not how the dice works. It's just pure RNG. So, yeah, anyway, you've only got to get 2 points off this were-rabbit, so 2d6 for the enemy, please.
Grandpappy says your rolls are as bad as mine. We're the double ones.
4 and 2 gives them 18.
I once played with a guy who got advantage on like all of a certain type of roll and got double ones 3 times in one game. Not enough. It's not enough to make it.
It isn't. It's 17.
Yep.
You lose that attack round and you're now down to 10 stamina.
Yep. I'm down to 8, aren't I?
Sorry, yes, 8.
I was gonna say, I think I was on 10 last time.
Yep. Test your luck or carry on?
No, we're doing like full Monty Python, like killed by a rabbit in this.
So go for it. 2d6 for the enemy.
Okay, now that's really interesting.
6
okay,
and
yeah,
2
no,
gives them
that was another,
20.
Yeah, that was another one that looked tilted. It was like right between 6 and 4.
That's peculiar, that is. It doesn't show that way on my screen.
Yeah, I can see it on your screen too, but it's
You've parried blows, so no damage was done between either of you. So 2d6 for the enemy, please.
It's about, I don't know, a third of the time or so it's coming up. I have to take a screenshot next time. Well, that's promising.
That's better.
I need, what, a 5? Better. I need a 5 or better?
I guess so.
Ah!
Oh.
I can't even do it rolling a 3.
So you're now down to 6.
Oh well. At least I go out amusingly.
You killed a Rick.
Yeah. I'll never let him live it down.
That's 17 for the enemy. And 2 for yourself, please. Oh. And 15 for yourself. You lose the attack round, which brings you down to 4 stamina. Guys, seriously, a £3 donation will buy her a potion of stamina.
Nah, let me die with a total lack of dignity.
Even with the boon as well, it's not helped you, has it?
No, not even remotely. I think there's been one roll that it made a difference. Because, like I said, without it, I would have had to roll boxcars, and I'm pretty sure I have to roll a 10 or better in order for it to.
I believe so, yeah. Well, 2d6 for the enemy, please. Two and a 4 gives them 18. Oh my god! 13 for you, sorry. Which has brought you down to 2 stamina. Would you like to test your luck at this point?
The funny thing is that if my luck is bad, I die anyway, don't I?
No, it'll only. So this is the thing, right? If you are lucky, it'll only take you down by 1 point. Sorry, if you're lucky, it'll take you up by 1 point, which means it'll give you an extra round of battle. Because if they are successful on their next attack round, then it will take you down to 1. However, if you're unlucky, it will take you down to 1.
So I die next round either way.
You will die next round if you are unlucky and they get the attack round.
Got it.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
so
I think
no matter what, yeah.
Yeah, I die next round either way, so might as well roll for it.
Brilliant, you did it. So
because rolling low is something I excel at.
Oh!
Somebody offered to donate whiskey for me.
For the rabbit memes, Davyverse has donated £3, which means that you get a potion of choice.
I mean, I guess it better be stamina, huh?
I guess so. Would you like to use it right now, or would you like to save it and see if you need to use it on the next round?
I'm gonna save it because when I lose 2 more points, I'll just gain more of them back.
Exactly. Okay, so 2d6 for the enemy, please.
Hang on a second, I'm doing math on your rabbit naming. All right.
A 4 and a 1 gives them 17. A 3 and a 5 gives you 18. You did it.
I was gonna say I think that might just do it.
Well, Davyverse, thank you so much for the £3 donation, but she didn't actually need it. Wonderful. Fantastic.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna polish off pretty much my entire food supply. So.
Well, I mean, the thing is.
Oh, that's right. I have another stamina potion that's like not usable in.
Exactly.
Battle too, right?
So you could use either one of those stamina. Well, if you use any of the stamina potions now, I will take it as the one that you don't use, that you can't use in battle.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, so I'm going to bring you skill. Your rage has come down after fighting the were-rabbit, and you're now back down to your initial skill of 8. And congratulations, you smashed the were-rabbit in the backside, and you've won. You did it.
So I got a were-rabbit and a shape changer, both of which were ridiculously powerful, and I didn't get any loot off either of them, huh?
Is that on my side or is that on your side?
Is which on which?
Okay, you sort of roboted. So you got to the point where you said, so far I've had a were-rabbit and a shape changer. They were both ridiculously powerful.
Oh, did I get any loot off either of them?
It's very rare that you ever get loot off these people. I mean,
Ooh.
you got 30 gold off Big Leg, so...
Yeah, but I didn't have to murder him.
Can she commit seppuku? Why, though?
Rather than letting that rabbit kill me, I assume.
How much for the holy hand grenade?
It would be, dishonorable to be killed by a rabbit.
You see, everyone in the at least Legatus, he was like, luck, go for it. Fatality. Well, there you go. Not even a rabbit fur coat. It was a pretty big rabbit. You could probably make a fur coat out of that rabbit that you just killed.
I mean, I've already spitted one over a fire. Can't I just, have a really big rabbit stew?
I mean, that would make quite some rabbit stew.
Could you catch lycanthropy if you've, made rabbit stew out of a were-rabbit?
I'm trying to think, how is a were-rabbit formed? Is it bitten by a werewolf but escapes?
I mean, I've been bitten by a lot of rabbits, so
Well, anyway, thank you, Rick, for the... Yeah, you see what he's saying? I'll have to try harder next time. Yes, so... Rick Cleary coming in with the £20. Thank you so much for that. And,
I was waiting to just get done that battle and have him immediately slap down another £20 for the next one.
If so, they can't spam it. Hopefully, they won't spam it. But there's a little bit of cooldown period. I might put a little bit of a cooldown period on it, so. If someone puts another £20 in, it has to go over 5 paragraphs before it just randomly spawns.
I'd let him spam it.
You would?
Think how much money you could make off me.
But I'm not the... I feel bad about that. I'm not the kind of...
I don't, as long as
grifty...
As long as you continue to put up totally ridiculous things for me to fight, that would be hysterical.
A wild Rick has appeared. Anyway, we get to continue with the journey. So, would you like to eat some of the mushrooms, or would you rather continue north?
I mean, eating strange mushrooms is the absolute worst thing you can do in the forest, so I'll just go north.
Okie dokie. The path continues north and you soon reach another junction. If you wish to continue north, turn to 97. If you want to go east, turn to 20.
North. I'm a terrible drawer, so the less I'm likely to cross over myself on this map, the better.
The path leads ever northwards, but at last the trees are beginning to thin out and appear less menacing as the daylight streams through between them. On the right-hand side of the path, you see an old oak chair covered with moss. If you wish to sit in the chair and rest and eat, turn to 328. If you would rather press on northwards, turn to 118.
Nah, I mean, I just topped off, so we'll just keep going.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to eat, but something may very well happen on page 328. But if you want to press on northwards, we can do that.
Well, I mean, it's specified eat, so... I'm trying not to metagame, so... I'm trying to do what I would do in character.
Oh dear. What's this? Looks like a little piggy. You got any piggies on your farm?
No, my husband won't let me have pigs. That's where he draws the line. Because we don't eat pork, and he's like, well, what the heck do we do with them when they, start making little piggies? I actually just want a pair to root up a section of the pasture because I want to put in an orchard. And then he's like, well, what do we do with them when they're done? And I'm like, I don't know. Sell them?
Yeah. I mean, You could still butcher them and give the meat away.
Well, I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose of not eating them, so.
But you don't eat them?
Yeah, we have different reasons for not eating them, though, so.
Oh, so it's not like a religious thing, then? You're not like...
No.
Jews or Muslims?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, despite the fact that I don't eat pork and that I take Saturdays off from electronics, I am not Jewish. It's just a coincidence. Adam is correct. Is absolutely correct. Beef bacon is better than pork bacon any day.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hey, now. What the... I think me and you are going to have some words. Beef bacon. What the heck is beef bacon?
It is like bacon and brisket had a baby, and it was more delicious than either of them.
I'm looking this up now, live. We're doing it live.
It's
Beef
amazing. So we get a half a cow a year. That's the only animal that we don't raise ourselves. We get it from a local farm. And it lasts us about a year, and we have the entire brisket sliced up and turned into bacon.
Oh my good lord. It does look tasty.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's also not quite as bad for you as like regular bacon because it's less fatty.
Okay, well, it's not like I'm converted and saying that pork bacon is now worse than beef bacon because I haven't tasted.
I didn't say it was worse. I said beef bacon was better. That makes it. There is a difference. That makes it sound like I'm saying pork. Though interestingly, if you go long enough without eating pork, you realize that it's the smell of bacon that you like, not the taste.
I mean, if there's one thing that's going to convert a vegetarian back to eating meat, it's the smell of a bacon sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the smell of bacon is amazing, but if you go long enough, you realize that the smell is really what does it. That
Davey
like
Verse is saying, I ain't had lamb bacon.
Lamb bacon would be interesting. It would depend on what you got for a lamb. If you got New Zealand lamb, it would probably be good. I don't think it would be good with mine. Mine are so lean, I don't think they'd make good bacon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Random discussion for the day.
However, you've taken this path, which eventually emerges from the trees onto a vast plain. Beyond, you see the rising ground leading to low hills. The waist-high grasses on either side of the path sway gently in the warm breeze. All is peaceful, and the dangers ahead seem unimportant. You are enjoying your walk when suddenly the silence is broken by the sound of a squealing and grunting to the right of the path. You see the path being made through the grass by an unseen beast moving towards you quickly. You draw your sword in readiness. A few yards ahead of you, you see a large brown pig-like creature burst out onto the path and halts there. It has two long tusks protruding from a short, stubby snout. Steam rises into the air from its sweaty body. Its small eyes look at you before it puts its head down to charge. You must fight the wild boar.
I mean, could I fight another were-rabbit instead?
No, I'm afraid not.
Why? Seriously, wild boars are like terrifying.
Not this one. It's got a skill of 6. You should do quite well against this one.
Oh, it's a baby boar then.
Yeah, it's a little bugger. Anyway, here we go.
Rick says long pig bacon is good too.
Long pig.
Long pig is human.
I don't think I get the...
Long pig is human. That's what cannibals call humans.
I did not know that. Not being a cannibal, I didn't know that. Anyway. To start the first attack round, please, if you wouldn't mind doing the old 2d6 for the enemy.
I told you, pigs are terrifying. First I got killed by a
double sixes.
First I got killed by a rabbit, now I'm getting killed by a pig. It's like the farm animal edition.
2d6 for yourself, please. Well, you did it.
Woohoo!
Good job. So that gives you 20. You win the attack round. We brought them down to 3.
I like Rick's idea. He said if I cut off the were rabbit's leg, it would have restored my luck to maximum.
Do you know what? I didn't actually think of that. Maybe I should add that in. I mean, I have been trying to stick quite strictly to the stories without adding too much of my own influence into it. But maybe that could be something that could be done for the future. So Rick's saying 2 legs is bad, 4 legs is good. Anyway, do you want to...
That would be a book reference.
Would you like to test your luck at this point? See if we can bring that score down to 1?
I think we're gonna wait. We're kind of getting into scary territory on the luck.
Okie dokie. 2d6 for the enemy then, please. 4 and a 4 gives them 14. And 2 for yourself, please. 5 and a 5. You see, this is gonna be much better.
Don't
so you
jinx me.
You win the attack. You jinx yourself, love. You win the attack round, bringing their stamina down to 1. Test your luck or carry on.
Carry on.
Okie dokie. 2d6 for the enemy, please. 6 and a 3 gives them 15. And 2 for yourself, please. A 1 and a 2 gives you 11. Unfortunate. Oh, hang on.
I was going to say, what happened to my potion?
You didn't use the potion, did you?
Yeah, I did. I said I was going to use the one that was not usable during...
Okay. So I am gonna allow it. Don't worry. Because I do remember you saying that you were going to use the potion, but we didn't actually quite get to doing it because I kind of moved on and we were talking about bacon in the chat and I just started getting hungry. So first I'm going to raise you up to 18 again. Take away the potion of stamina that you would use out of battle, and now we have to reduce you down to 16. Okay, we've gone through the motions. 2d6 for the enemy, please. There we go. 13 for them. And a 3 and a 2 is going to give you 13 too, so you've parried blows. Next attack round, 2d6 for the enemy, please. 5 and a 4 gives them 15. And 2 for yourself, please. I'm going to take it as a 1 and a 5 because that's what I can see on my side. But unfortunately, it still wasn't enough. So they win that attack round and will bring you down to 14. Test your luck or carry on?
Carry on.
Okay, do 2d6 for the enemy, please. 2 and a 3 gives you them 11, which is not bad at all. And 2d6 for yourself. 3 and a 1 gives you 12, which means you've won the attack round, you've beaten back the poor boar, and you've completed the battle. You've done it. You managed to. I've got to fix that sound. You know, the music. It cuts too harsh.
So I have managed to beat a shapeshifter, a rabbit, and a pig.
Not just a rabbit, a were-rabbit. But yes,
it's all in the details.
It's all in the details. Congratulations, you did it. You won against the wild boar. It will turn to 174. As you draw your sword from the carcass of the wild boar, you wonder what made it attack. In the distance, you hear the sound of barking dogs. Perhaps it was hunted and being trapped, it made its last stand against you. Through the nose of the boar, you see a large gold ring which you cut loose and place in your backpack. Its worth is 10 gold pieces and add 1 luck point. Nice. So we'll give you your 10 gold pieces, which brings you up to 21. And you get a luck point back, so it brings you up to 8.
The easiest thing I fought is the one I've gotten loot off from. That's hysterical.
It's all in the draw. 323. We've already been there. Oh no, we haven't. Okay, so walking north, you soon arrive at a junction in the path. You may continue north, go west, or go east.
North.
And don't forget, you've also still got your lifelines, so if ever you want to backtrack, you can. So we're continuing north, yes?
Yes.
You're eating, aren't you?
Yeah, husband just brought me a hamburger.
As you walk further northwards across the plain, the grass gradually becomes shorter and the ground starts to rise gently. Ahead, you hear the roar of crashing water. Soon, you reach the bank of a wide river split on 2 levels. To your right, the water is calm and slow-moving, but in front of you, it tumbles noisily down a great waterfall to a gorge where the river narrows and quickly west over rocks and boulders. Steps lead down by the side of the waterfall to the bottom of the gorge, although it's difficult to see where they end because of the spray thrown up. Across the river, you see the path heading north into the distance. A small wooden boat is tied to a post to your right where the river is calm. So will you walk down the steps to the base of the waterfall, or row the wooden boat across the river?
Alright, I'm a little confused. Where the water is calm, it doesn't say which direction it goes, right? Am I missing it? I'm just trying to figure out how I draw a map if I don't know which direction I'm going.
So you were heading north, and so it says to your right the water is calm, so I'm assuming that's east.
Okay, so we're assuming that goes east.
But in front of you, to the north, it tumbles noisily down. It doesn't say to the north, but I'm assuming north.
Well, it says the path continues north if I go that way, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like a really stupid idea, but let's keep going north.
So you want to go down the waterfall?
Go down the stairs. Go down the stairs, yep.
You walk down the slippery stone steps to the bottom of the waterfall. You look up and see a magnificent rainbow reflected in the spray. It's dark in the gorge and impossible to see through the wall of water where the steps end. If you wish to walk through the sheet of water, turn to 181. If you wish to climb back up the stone steps, turn to 326.
Alright, this one's a tough one.
You still have 3 lifelines. You can either backtrack, ask the audience, or ask a friend.
So I can ask Rick and then blame him when I die?
You could.
I mean, I already can blame him when I die, but...
I would. I would blame him.
I'd have another stamina potion if it wasn't for the fact that he decided to kill me off. Hi, Crimson Shadow.
Thank you to Davyverse for that.
Yes, thank you for saving my life. Yeah, let's do a chat vote.
So is that ask the audience or phone a friend? So ask all of them or ask one of them?
All of them.
Okie dokie. I'm going to put a poll in the chat then. So through the waterfall or back up the steps. So I'll start the poll with that. So the poll is in the chat. You can either choose waterfall or steps. start your voting now, please, if you wouldn't mind. And we'll give you about 30 seconds for that.
I was just getting ready to ask if you had Jeopardy music.
Not quite. Okay, time is up. We've got 7 votes in the poll. I'm about to end the poll. So get your last votes in now. So here it comes, ending the poll. And the results are 75% of the chat or the votes say that you should go through the waterfall, 25% say you should go back up the steps. So what do you think you would like to do?
Did everybody actually vote?
Not everybody, no.
Shame on those of you that didn't do your civic duty.
I know, right? There's 16 people watching at the moment, and only 8 votes.
Wow, 50%'s well, I mean, it's better than our voting system, but it's still terrible. All right, let's go with the majority vote.
Okay, then. You also have a backtrack, so if you don't like this decision... Oh, by the way, I better do that whilst we're thinking about it. So we've asked the audience. I'm going to cross that off for you there. But you do have a backtrack, so if you didn't like going through the waterfall, you can always go back anyway, if you want to.
I do love the don't go chasing waterfalls. Prophetic's response was quite entertaining.
So, if you wish to walk through the sheet of water, turn to 181. Oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? Another battle.
More
Here we
farm
go.
life.
So, you walk along the steps through the waterfall into a large cavern where there is a pool of still water. The steps run round the side of the pool, and there is a stone table and a chair on the far side. You go to the table and see fish scraps lying on it. Suddenly, you hear the noise of splashing behind you. A strange creature climbs out of the pool and advances towards you, armed with a trident. His legs are like a man's, but his face and torso resemble a large green fish with bulbous eyes. His arms are like yours, but are covered with large scales. He is a fishman, and you must fight him. He has a skill of 7 and a stamina of 6. Now, at this point, you may want to backtrack, but if you want to battle him, you may get something out of it at the end.
I just want to be very clear that whether it says I can or not, if I kill him, I'm going to eat him. So, are you going to battle this dude? Yep.
Excellent. That's the spirit.
I told you.
Spirit.
Headbutt all the enemies.
Headbutt all the enemies, indeed. That was your tweet, wasn't it? So a skill of 7 and a stamina of 6. Right then, to start the first attack round, 2d6 for the enemy, and that's a 1 and a 5, which gives them 13. And 2d6 for yourself, please. 2 and a 4, which is pretty much the same, gives you 14. So you win the attack round. Well done. We'll bring their stamina down to 4. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
Carry on.
Okay, 2d6 for the enemy, please. Aha! There, that's better.
That's the luck I need.
Snake Eyes gives them 9. A 1 and a 5 gives you 14, which means you win the attack round. Well done. We'll bring their stamina down to 2. If you test your luck and you're lucky, you will kill the fish man right now. But otherwise, if you're unlucky, I'll give him the point back. Otherwise, we'll just carry on for the next attack round.
I'm going to carry on because if I'm unlucky, then I have to beat him 2 rounds.
Yep. 2d6 for the enemy then, please. A 4 and a 2 gives them 13. And a 2 and a 2 for yourself gives you 12, which means that you've lost that attack round, unfortunately, and will bring your stamina down to 12. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
Carry on.
Very well, 2d6 for the enemy, please. 1 and a 4 gives them 12. And 2 for yourself, please. A 1 and a 6 gives you 15, which means that you've done it again. You've managed to beat a lot of animals in this adventure so far. But you did it. Congratulations, Goat. You've managed to defeat another enemy. The fishman is dead. He's dead. And you get to eat him.
Apparently beating animals is what I'm good at.
Well, you know, I mean, this has been... You do tend to keep a lot of animals. You eat rabbits, I assume. You eat sheep.
I've never beat them before, though.
Have you ever eaten a fishman before?
Lots of fish, but no fishman.
Well, congratulations, you absolutely did it. What is this? He also jizzed everywhere because he has some bacon and butter steamed mussels. Good lord. It was local haddock, not cod, but it was good. Haddock is good, by the way, Grandpappy. Goat is a rancher. She certainly is. In one way or another. I had his last piece. As he was full, I quite liked haddock.
I feel like there must have been a comment above those that made the rest of them make more sense.
Yeah. Tomby had Maine fish and chips on Wednesday. He loved it. Was it that? I think it was that. It's that, isn't it? Do you like fish sticks in your mouth, Eclectic Goat?
No, fish sticks are nasty. Fish sticks are like, you know, when you take all the, like, fish scraps and just, like, puree them and then cram them back together into something and deep fry it in nasty breading.
Fish sticks. Fish sticks. I think that's what he was trying to get at. Do you like putting fish sticks in your mouth?
I'm sure he was, but either way, it's disgusting.
Hope it's not too salty. It's a fish hot dog.
Yes, that is a great way to describe that.
Anyway, congratulations, you won the round. You've defeated the fishman, so let's continue to a 162. Oh, good God. There is nothing of use or value in the fishman's cave, so you walk around to the north side of the wall. The steps lead back through the waterfall and up to the north wall of the gorge to the top. You are at the foot of some hills and you can see the path climbing up into their midst in the north. It's getting dark and night is closing in, so you decide to camp behind some rocks to the right of the path. You build a large fire and settle down to sleep with your sword by your side. One thing I'm going to ask you, what time at the latest did you want to get out of here by, Goat?
I will probably need 5 minutes in between to refill my drink in between this and Roman's show, but Roman starts at 8, so...
So if we say we end the stream so you can get out of here by 10:02, that
good. Should be fine.
Okie dokie.
Should be fine.
We'll carry on for a little bit longer then. Oh no! Not again! You've been asleep for about an hour when the noise of deep growling wakes you up. You stand up without making a noise and grab your sword. You wait and listen. There is a full moon in the sky, and the light casts an eerie shadow all around. You hear soft footsteps and sniffing, followed by another low growl. Then a shape which looks like a man steps out of the shadows to your right. As he gets closer to you, you see that his chest, arms and face are covered with thick brown hair, and long teeth protrude from his mouth. He is a werewolf, and you must fight him. Now, unfortunately, if you were to use backtrack at this point, you wouldn't be able to do anything in the previous paragraph but move forward. So I'm afraid you can't use backtrack at this point. So you've got to fight this guy.
What's hysterical is that the werewolf is less tough than the rabbit.
Well, I mean, you have met rabbits before, haven't you? They do have pretty, you know,
they can be
are
feisty.
pretty ferocious. Yeah,
they can be feisty.
So unfortunately, we've got to enter you into another battle.
Do I hold the record for the most battles in the shortest period of time? Because I don't ever remember listening to any of these and having them quite so consistent.
It has been, but it's something that I haven't done actually. Which perhaps I should give you
to ask you a question and I forgot.
What was that?
Well, if I was making camp, I was going to ask if I could eat one of my rations.
Well, that's exactly where I was literally just going to. So, before we moved forward, I was going to give you an opportunity to eat some of your provisions. So, how many provisions would you like to eat?
There are 4 apiece, right?
Yeah.
And what am I at?
12.
12? And I max out at 18. So it doesn't make any sense to eat more than one, because otherwise I'm just wasting half a provision.
Yeah, you'll waste half of a provision.
So, 1 it is.
Okie dokie. So we'll bring your provisions down to 9, and we'll bring your stamina up to 16. So, let's crack on with the battle by rolling 2d6 for the enemy, please. Oh, hang on, let me bring your adventure sheet up. There you go. 2d6 for the enemy, please.
Well, we're off to a great start.
And a 4 gives them 18. And so if you can roll 2d6 for yourself, please. Well, you're equally matched, funnily enough. So a 5 and a 4 gives you 17.
Pretty good since they woke me up out of a dead sleep.
Unfortunately, you lose that attack round, so we'll bring you down to 14. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
Carry on.
Okay, 2d6 for the enemy, please. That's better. A 1 and a 3 gives them 12. Oh, come on. And a 1 and a 4 gives you 13s, which means you win the attack round. We'll bring their stamina down to 7. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
They lose 2 if I beat them?
Yeah, 2.
This is probably a terrible idea, but I'm going to risk it.
Okie dokie, you've got to get 8 or below on 2d6, please.
Oh, close.
Oh, you made it. You made it.
Barely.
Just.
Yeah, I rolled a 9 when I needed a 10, and I rolled an 8.
So we've brought their stamina down to 5 now. And so for the next attack round, would you please roll 2d6 for the enemy? 2 and a 4 gives them 14.
Oh, that was weird.
And a 5 and a 4.
On my screen for a split second, there were 4 dice.
Yeah, and on mine. You win the attack round anyway, 17 to 14. So we'll bring their stamina down to 3. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
Carry on.
Okay, 2d6 for the enemy, please. A 3 and a 3 gives them 14 again. and 2d6 for yourself, please. A 1 and a 5 gives you 14. You've parried blows. On with the next attack round, please. 2d6 for the enemy. A 5 and a 4 gives them 17.
That's no good.
That's
well, there we go.
better. Gives you 18. 18 against 17. You win the attack round. We've brought their stamina down to 1. Would you like to test your luck or carry on?
Carry on.
2d6. A 2 and a 6 gives them 16.
I feel like they're rolling better every time.
5 and a 3 gives you 16, which means you've parried blows. Onto the next attack round. 2d6, please. 2 and a 3 gives them 13. And 2 for yourself. 1 and a 4 gives you 13 again. You've parried blows again.
Darn
Next
it.
attack
I really
round.
thought I was gonna. I really thought I might actually win him on that one.
Oh no, not this attack round. Oh, what did I do? What did I do there? Give me a second. 6 and a 6 gives them 20. And if you can roll 2d6 for yourself, please.
I may not like fish sticks, but apparently Grandpappy likes fish balls.
You lost that attack round, by the way. Sorry, you scored 13.
Yeah, I know. I knew that one wasn't going well.
Would you like to test your luck?
Oh, no, sorry.
That's okay.
I should have
4
said
and
that
a
ahead of
1
time.
gives them 13.
So I suppose with a 5 I should have, because then I would have taken less damage.
Nice.
I think that does it.
I think it does. That gives you 17 against 13. You win the attack round. You've beaten back the monster. Congratulations. You've done it again. You've managed to beat almost... Well, you've managed to beat every single enemy you've come across so far.
I'm apparently a lycanthrope bigot.
Well, that loincloth didn't save him, did it? Well, anyway, well done.
What room number was this? 162? Yeah, it is. Never mind. I got it written down.
Yes, it is. Apparently it is. Someone just told me.
And I did get wounded, so...
You did get wounded. So, unfortunately, we have to take you... Hang on. If you did not receive any wounds, had 1 luck point, yeah. Unfortunately, 155. You settle down to sleep again, but you start to shake and tremble. Sweat pours from your body, although you feel very cold. Do you possess any belladonna? You don't, so 259.
Unless that's what's in the anti-poison thing.
No, it's not. You feel a burning sensation inside your body as you sink into a raging fever. You may be about to change into a werewolf yourself. Lose 3 stamina points. Oh, cack. So... You're down to 5... sorry, not...
I was going to say,
skill.
that's skill. Down to 9.
Yeah. Lose 3 stamina points.
And I have to test my luck, I think.
I think we do. Give me a second. So, test your luck if you're still alive. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your luck score, the fever dies down. We turn to 244. If the number that is rolled is greater than your luck score, the fever continues to grip your body, and you are horrified to see thick brown hair appearing on the back of your hands. Shock causes you to lose an additional 2 stamina points. So test your luck, rolling 2d6, please, and you've got to get... That's 7 or below. You did it anyway, so turn to 244, and we'll just reduce your luck score down to 6. I've done that in the background there.
I lose luck on that one too, huh? I thought maybe I...
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, whether or not I should...
I didn't know if it made a difference because it wasn't a voluntary. But stamina
well,
loss
like
wasn't voluntary either, so...
Yeah, like I've said in previous streams that maybe I should, when it's not a voluntary luck roll, maybe I shouldn't reduce the luck score, because there seems to be, in Caverns of the Snow Witch, there seems to be a problem where you get in this infinite loop, and so once you get past a certain amount of luck, like you drop below a certain amount of luck, you can never get out of this infinite luck loop where you just keep losing stamina and you keep losing luck points, and so you'll never ever win, and so you might as well die. Anyway, we turn to 244. However, the effects of the fever finally wear off, and you gratefully fall asleep again. In the morning, you collect your belongings and head north along the path to the hills.
That was the fastest...
But for today...
ever.
I didn't hear what you said then.
I said that's the fastest fever break ever.
But for today, I'm going to end the stream, so it means that we're going to have to come bring you back on again in the future.
Can we end off with my having breakfast so that we don't forget for next time?
I guess so. So you've got 9 stamina points currently. What would you like to do?
Math. I need what, 3 to get close to... Wait, they're they're 4. They're 4 apiece.
13 plus 4, that'd be 17.
2 is 17, yeah. Okay, so
yeah.
2 it is.
Excellent. Okay, so there you go. We've given you breakfast. Ready for the next show. And it's page...
As Crimson says.
What's he saying? Yes, indeed, to be continued. So, let me just go back to my big mug. There we go. And we'll get back to here. So, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Goat. I hope you have a great time on Roman's stream, and if anyone has regardless if you're still in the chat, if you have the link to Roman's stream out there, I would very much appreciate it if you could put it in the chat. But if Goat's got it and she puts it in the private chat here, I'll be able to post it also. And you can go over there and check them out after this show. However, I'm going to try and get rid of you pretty quickly and kick you out. But if you wouldn't mind, before you go, please shill your wares.
Well, I will be on Roman's stream in about 10 minutes. I recently have been getting all these campaign ideas for role-playing games, and I don't have time to run all of them. So I've been making little 1-minute videos with the ideas. So if anyone else is running games, you can use them instead. I have up and coming at some point in the near future a review for Through the Breach, which is a game that was sent to me by a company, a role-playing game that was sent to me by a company, along with a couple of their supplements. For anyone who watched my shows you've never seen, Kilowatt is actually going to be joining me for that review.
Interesting.
And what else do I have up and coming? I'm still working on a script for my History of Zombie movies, which I really need to buckle down on because I've watched lots of movies, but I have not made great progress on the actual writing of the script. So, in real life, I write nonfiction for magazines. I edit books for novelists and for role-playing games. very excited to say that I recently signed up to do the new zine for Postmortem Studios.
That's incredible.
Which has done a whole bunch of stuff. So, I mean, more work is always better, but it's been very exciting to get into. I've seen some really, really cool games recently with my editing. So it's very exciting.
That's incredible. Well, I'm really happy for you. And if you go down into the description down below, it's got Goat's Twitter and YouTube page there. Please go and check out all of her shows. She's going to be on Roman's channel shortly after this. Was there anything else that you wanted to share?
That is the lot.
Okie dokie. Well, I usually like to have a little bit of a chat after the show with the guests, but I know that you're pressed for time, so I'm going to kick you into the back of the studio now so that you can get out of here. But Goat, I can't wait to have you on the next show. You've been extremely entertaining. Thank you so much for being here today for this show.
I'll send you a picture of your namesake once we have her picked out.
Yes, thank you so much for generating that donation as well. But until next time, Goat, take care of yourself. It was lovely to have you, and we'll see you soon.
Have a great night.
Good night. And as for me, I am Jacktar Lad. You can see me on all of my socials at Jacktar Lad. I also have a Read and Roll Rumble channel where I upload all of the YouTube live videos where you can watch them again, the videos on demand. We are just going to quickly have a quick look through the chat. Yes, so I'm also streaming on Rumble on a regular basis at the moment because I want to build up my stream hours on Rumble so that I can get into the creator program. So keep an eye out for those. Tomorrow, I'm not entirely sure what we've got going on, but I am supposed to be going to the Games Expo in Birmingham at the NEC on Saturday. So during Saturday daytime, please look out for a live stream from there. And I should be there with Kadath Gaming. I should be meeting up with Kadath Gaming at some point. So please look out for the notifications for that on Saturday. Well, it'll be Saturday British time, daytime. So it may be very early in the morning for the Americans. I don't know. I'm going to try and work out a time when I can stream so that people can catch it. People in the US can catch it. But nevertheless, stay notified. Look at my Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter and YouTube and Rumble. Jacktar Lad and Read and Roll on Rumble. And thank you to everybody in the chat. There's such a long list of people that I can't really go through them all like I usually do. But I would like to especially say thank you to Davey Verse for the donations and to Rick Cleary for the massive £20 donation there. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And next week, I should be having Magitech Mags on. So it'll be same time next week, 10 o'clock British time, next Thursday. Come and join us for Magitech Mags. But until then, though, take care of yourselves. And I will see you soon. Take care. Good night.